It's 4:30 now, and this is Judy Jones, Skagit Transit Chair, and the meeting is called to order. And at this point, we will do the roll call. Cheryl, can you do the honors?
Would be happy to, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Doris, are you present? Don't have a response.
Okay.
Ray.
Here.
He says here.
Okay.
BJ Carroll. Here. She's here.
Okay.
Craig Edens is absent. Louise Edens. I did not get a response when I reached out to her. So
Okay.
I'm going to say absence.
All right.
Robin Gosney.
Here.
She's present. Chris Jones.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Judy Jones.
Here.
John Norman is not feeling well today, so he will not be with us.
Okay.
Monette Parton.
Here.
Dick Phillips
Here.
is present.
Okay.
Valerie Rose. She's not at the station.
Okay. I did something to make my participants list go away, so I can't track with you. Sorry.
I'll put absent for now and see if she comes in later.
All right.
Dave Stevens is present.
Wonderful.
Daniel. He's not at the station. I don't see him. So for now, I'll say absent.
Okay. So during the course
There's
of the
Valerie.
meeting. Oh, good. Welcome, Valerie.
And Irene was thinking maybe
She was going to try.
Yeah, she's going to try.
She's at an airport as we speak.
That's it.
Okay. All right. And so please feel free to interrupt me. Anyone who's monitoring the participant screen, Cheryl, Rogelio, whoever is doing it, and let me know if someone comes in because I'm also keeping track of the roll. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move on. We've got an introduction of guests, and we do have a guest that I would like to recommend, and he came highly recommended from Crystal Stidham, our CEO. And at this point, if you'd just like to say a little bit about yourself, Mike Mills, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me join in today. My intention was to be there in person, but other commitments were not flexible enough. I born and raised in the county. Last lived here in summer of '71 until 2015. Once the statute of limitations had all expired, I came back. My background is not in transit. It is in telecom and in the area of finance mostly. But I happened to be sitting with Crystal at the meeting last Friday and expressed an interest in seeing if there was some contributions that I might make to this group. So things moved fast.
Yeah, we did. We worked on it really quick here too. So thank you for joining us today. And if you have my emails, I sent you, Mike, I did send you one after the introductory from Crystal. Did you get that one?
I did, yes.
Okay, so if you hang on to that, it's got the links to everything. And if you get stuck, call me. Feel free to call me, or you can contact Cheryl Willis. And I am very glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Are there any other guests before we move on to public comments? Any in the station?
Joe Kunzler, I would consider you a guest.
Oh, okay.
I was going to put him in public comment, but we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Go for it, Joe.
Thanks. Well, first start by thanking the staff for arranging a transit hookup to the air show later this month. Really excited for that. It's going to be nice to be able to get on the 301 a couple blocks away and then transfer to the 513, get check it out and attend the air show all day and come home on the 28th. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, but very, very grateful for that was able to be pulled off. I do understand your bylaws are going to change to only 2 minutes per speaker. I'm going to go ahead and ask that you go to 3 minutes and give someone a warning at 2 minutes. I just think sometimes people need an extra minute or not. That's a thought. One last thing is, I'm not too sure what the process is for the CAC, but, definitely want to serve whenever there's an opening in the wait list, or the board if and when appropriate. So thanks for all you do.
Okay, thank you for that. And I appreciate your comments too, Joe. And like as far as the board and all that goes, that's going to take some protocol, some planning, and we're working with Anna Zivarts on that and disability rights for some guidance on how that's going to work. So that's sort of jumping the gun on that a little bit. Same with the bylaws. That's jumping the gun on that a little bit. So anyway, we are always glad to have you, and I appreciate you coming. Now, as far as adding to the bylaws, this is actually what's coming up next. I'll just take a couple minutes on it. What I've kind of done is for public speakers or public commenters is just kind of taken my cues from how the board handles it. And they will give people, they'll say you have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. And I've kind of done that too, but we haven't made it formal. So as far as adding that into the bylaws, it's really going to be up to the committee if they want to do that. I would, and just because I would suggest something doesn't mean that I have the say, because I don't. The committee has the say. But I would think that we wouldn't want to restrict ourselves to putting that in the bylaws in case we do need the extra time at some point. So that is my perception on that. And if I've done anything as far as with public meeting and guests and stuff, let me know. We can discuss it. But let's take about another minute to see what you guys think. I think we ought to leave bylaws as is and not put a stricture on the public comments at this point. If we do it, I would say maybe just sort of informally, but not put it in the bylaws. So what do you guys think quickly?
Well, this is Manette. I think you're right. We ought to just leave it alone for now. I don't think it would change the way that right now. I don't think that altering it would be that beneficial for the way we conduct business.
Okay, thank you, Manette. Any other comments? Any in-house?
They're
No
still
further
reading.
Any other comments regarding if we should restrict, put a time structure on public comments? And, I think what we can do is, why don't we go ahead and think about it, and I'll send some emails. We can maybe comment via email and so on, so that when we have our July meeting, we'll have a little bit more thought put into it, what we think. Does that sound fair?
Okay.
So it's going to be
in-house?
It'll be for next meeting. We'll bring it up again, correct?
If we need to, if we don't get any other comments in the email, I'll actually send out an email about this, because Cheryl, I needed to have this explained to me too. I wasn't getting what this section was actually in the agenda, so I will actually send out an emails and then we can comment. And somebody has a raised hand. My phone indicated somebody raised their hand.
Yes, Valerie has her hand raised.
Okay, Valerie, please. You're muted if you're trying to.
Her device is giving her challenges
Okay.
with,
Okay.
so Valerie, can you hear us okay? Yes, she can hear us.
You can hear, but we can't. Is your mute button off, Valerie?
Yeah, Judy,
It says her mute button is off. And did you try to put something in the chat? Yes, she put something in the chat.
Yeah. So if we could have somebody at the station monitor the chat, so Cheryl can take some minutes and stuff, that would be great.
Hey, Judy, this is Malia. I'm just gonna hop in really quick.
Thank you, Malia.
Hey,
Yes.
Valerie, unfortunately, we don't see her in the waiting room or anything. So I will resend the link here in the chat. Would you be willing to forward that to her? Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we're not able to hear you today. We don't have any ability to unmute you on our end either, unfortunately.
Okay. And one of the things I've been advised to do is when we have glitchy team things going on, take a screenshot and send it over to Cheryl. I had to do that earlier today when I was working with Larissa on a Teams thing that wasn't working. Okay. And thanks, Malia, for that. I really appreciate you talking about that. All right, let's see. We've got applications that has been open for new people to apply for the vacancy. The board accepted our other members just withdrawal because she had some other things going on. So the application process has been open. So anyone who would wish to apply, feel free to apply. And this, of course, what you would want to do is you would want to send information into Cheryl Willis. And I will put an email out again about this. And it's kind of been, we're so used to the process, but we really need more publicity to get some more people applying. And I will send an email out again to get people, just send the link, send everything so that you can pass it on to other people. Any questions?
I'll just mention my email address. It's CWILLIS Willis at Skagit Transit, the two run together, .org. And Madam, can we do minutes?
We can, you know what? I skipped right over that. My goodness, please. Yes, we do need to approve the minutes. Okay. Anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I have a question. This is Dick.
Yes. Is that Dave?
I
or
wasn't
Dick?
here last month, but in reading the draft minutes here, that sentence, Skagit Transit expects to introduce a flex route pilot service on Guemes Island when the Guemes Island ferry returns to service preceding vessel haul out. That doesn't make sense. For one thing, the vessel's been hauled out for quite a while already now. And I think it should be when the vessel comes back into service.
Okay, Cheryl, do you have any comments on that, or Malia?
I can speak to that really quickly. I was going to give an update on it later, so I'll have a little bit more information to provide. But unfortunately, an incorrect press release was issued, and it reflected incorrect information. So we updated that, republished that, and that was what went out to the newspaper and on our social media. So I apologize. The version that the CAC received was not the updated one. That has been corrected, and fortunately, I guess, this is the only group that did receive the incorrect press release, but I do apologize for any confusion and or misunderstanding that caused.
What I'm thinking is, how would it be if in the next minutes, Cheryl, for the June minutes, that you could reflect that what Malia said, and then you wouldn't have to correct anything here. Would that work?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
If-
So
if-
yeah,
one
so Dick,
question.
you were talking about the agenda that you had a question on, not the minutes, right?
Well, I have a question. I have a question. I haven't received minutes or agenda. Am I supposed to get them in an email or what's going on?
You were getting them via print from Cheryl?
I was getting them in print from you or whoever, but I haven't received any.
It was
Okay,
mailed they were mailed last Tuesday.
Well, I didn't get one.
And I apologize. I had been sending print at one time, but Cheryl does send them via email. Did you get the email when she sent out, like she said?
I don't think so. And I have been having computer issues, and I have to get a new computer, but I can look at my email on my phone, and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Is there any other problems with people getting the emails or the emails from Cheryl?
Monette, if you have a new email address, by all means, let me know.
Well, it's
And
the
Cheryl, I
same.
have it too.
Yeah, she's got it, and but it's I've had it forever. It's just my name in Monette Parton in lowercase, no space at yahoo.com. MONETTEPARTIN.
Okay. All right. And then you can verify Cheryl with that, on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So any other minutes, questions on the minutes themselves? Any additions or corrections on the May minutes?
My one question is, if that's an incorrect statement, what should that read then? So when we correct the minutes about the Guemes Island.
I'll be giving an update on that in just a few minutes, if that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So these minutes, we have corrections to be made to these. We can actually move forward and just say all in favor of the corrected minutes as discussed. Is there anyone who wants to bring a motion forward to that?
Judy, really quickly, I just wanted to note that Valerie has her hand up.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, looks like she's disregarding. My apologies.
All right, thank you, Malia. I appreciate that. Okay, so would you all like to, we're not approving these as submitted because there are some corrections. So would anyone want to bring a motion forward to approve minutes once corrected, or would you like to just go ahead and table these minutes to take the corrections later?
Madam Chair, Chris Jones.
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept the minutes with any necessary corrections.
I would think that the minutes could be, yes, deferred until our next meeting if there's going to be a change in wording and correction in them this month.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we defer these minutes until the corrections are made, and then to just table these minutes until corrections are made? Okay, does someone want to bring that motion forward?
I second what Robin said.
Okay. All right. Move to table the minutes and until corrections are submitted. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So all in favor of tabling the minutes until corrections are inserted? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 This is the first time we've had to do this. Any opposed to this? Any further discussion on these minutes and how this is like a strange minutes? So is there any discussion? Okay. Excuse me? I thought I heard someone. All right, so with no further discussion and no opposition on this, this motion will carry, and these minutes will be discussed with the changes in our July meeting. All right, moving on now. And Cheryl, thank you. I can't believe I skipped over the minutes. I think that's the first time I've ever done that, so that was a good catch.
It's a full moon.
Yeah, is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, I really hopped over these. So now it looks like we come to Malia. I'll just send the business over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you everyone for being here this afternoon. Thank you for your patience once again with our virtual platform. It seems like it's working a bit better today, which is wonderful. So a huge shout out to Northwest Technology for assisting in getting us up and running today. Jumping into my first item to provide just an update on the Guemes Island bus service pilot. We launched that pilot on June 2nd, and we have had to make a few edits to the rollout of that service. It is a reservation-based service, so really more of an on-demand model. How it works is our bus goes over on the Monday through Friday, goes over on the 6:30 a.m. ferry, so it will be in service around 6:45 or so. You will call an hour in advance of when you're expecting a ride. If you want to ride first thing in the morning, we ask that you call the day before so that we can get you scheduled. Our operator will come and pick you up, take you to where you need to go. If there are not rides scheduled, our bus will hold at the ferry terminal so that, as possible, we can pick up folks who might not have a reservation for the service, but we give priority to those who reserve their rides just to be sure that we're accommodating folks, making sure they can get to the ferry or appointments as necessary. We use the same fare structure on that service, and just with any of our other services, you can pay with UMO or by cash on the vehicle. The bus then returns to the other side, to Anacortes side on the 5:30 p.m. ferry. So it is not crossing back and forth during the day. The purpose of this service is for the bus to service the island itself. So it will just connect and collect people to the terminal. On Saturday service, the bus goes over on the 8 a.m. ferry, and then the same type of model, we ask for reservations, and then returns on the 5:30 p.m. ferry. We will be piloting this for 6 months just to get a good idea of how it's working for residents over there, and to try to get a gauge for if the vehicle that we're currently operating over there, which is a paratransit vehicle, if that's sufficient, or if we maybe need to expand the fleet options to accommodate ridership. We will continue to evaluate ridership on a monthly basis. I will be happy to present ridership at the end of this month, at our next CAC meeting, so we have an idea for what ridership is looking like over there. And then we will work in close conjunction with our board to determine whether or not this is a service that we implement long term. So yeah, you can expect an update from me next month on ridership, but are there any questions that I can answer on that service?
No questions. Doris has joined us.
Okay, and thank you for that, Cheryl, and welcome, Doris.
Alrighty, with that, I will move to my next update, if that's okay with everyone. As we discussed a few weeks ago, I would love to sit down and have a longer meeting if that's agreeable to the CAC to kind of talk over next steps for CAC and some potential opportunities for more involvement for our members. Specifically, as we launch the long range transit plan, I think there's going to be plenty of pathways for this group to assist in helping us get out the word about these changes and informing maybe some of our marketing materials. I would love this group to take a more active role in giving us their feedback as to what they would like to see. If there's any concerns with ridership materials or with the routes, it would give us a chance to discuss. I want to clarify with a long range transit plan that the real purpose and intent is to give us an overview of what we could be doing differently, but by no means does it mean that it's all that we'll be able to do. So we've identified a few changes to the draft document as we discovered with feedback from the public comment period. But over the course of the next few months, our team is going to be working around the clock to make sure that the routes that we do roll out and the timetables and the maps, everything is really up to par for what our riders want to see. And I think the CAC is integral in the success of the long range transit plans development and deployment. So I'm just asking for kind of some thoughts if this group would be open to having maybe a 2-hour meeting or an 1.5-hour meeting in the next few months to kind of sit down and get into the nitty gritty of what the long range transit plan will look like as we publish final documents.
Okay, now are you proposing it on a different day and time or during the same second Tuesday?
I saw that Cheryl proposed August 12th or September 7th for a longer meeting.
Yeah.
That's what we're proposing at this time. If there's a different date or time that works for this group, I'm certainly open to accommodating what works best for everyone.
And are you thinking late afternoon like we're doing now, or what time are you thinking?
Maybe if we could do like 4 to 6 or 4 to 5:30, just to give us a little bit more time and be more focused on the LRTP specifically.
So I was thinking about Doris and Valerie, your work schedules. Would this encroach on your working schedules?
Let's see.
And that's Doris.
September 7th would not be our regular scheduled second Tuesday of the month meeting. So would that be an extra one?
Yeah, this is Doris. In August, I won't be working, so I could do the meeting on the 12th.
Now, yeah, and again, like, was that Dick that said that? Because that is our regular meeting. So would this be combined with our regular meeting or an extra meeting? And we're talking August 12th here.
It would be it would be a longer regular meeting.
Okay. Well, I'm asking Malia, would you rather have a longer regular meeting or a separate working meeting?
I'm open to what works best for this group. I'm very flexible.
And Doris sounds like August is the 1 month that she could do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Now, would September 7th work? That is actually, wait.
I believe that's a
Did you think
mistype. I believe it
7th?
should be
That's a
September
Sunday.
9th. I was going to say, I believe that's a mistype. It looks like it should be September 9th.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah. I'm just looking on the calendar here. All right. So then that's a moot point. So this would be during regular meeting times then. Okay. So working meeting in lieu of just the regular meetings we have, right? Or is this part of it? Because sometimes there are things that we handle during regular meeting and a working meeting. It would be a little bit different. So are we talking a mixed meeting, working meeting and regular?
I think my preference would be to have a working meeting. But if that doesn't work for everyone's schedule, I think we can certainly accommodate just adding an additional 30 minutes to one of our regular scheduled meetings. I'm happy to send out like a poll on this as well if folks would like a little bit more time to check their schedules and we can formulate a plan. I just wanted to make sure that I kind of brought it up and got the ball rolling on getting something scheduled.
Well, I'm thinking, and this is Judy, and this is just me, and this is just me and not the committee, but I'm thinking a working meeting should be like a separate meeting and not necessarily in our regular meetings because we have minutes and do this and that. And that would just take away time from a working meeting. So it would seem like a working meeting should be on a different day than a Tuesday. What do y'all think about that?
I see different expressions.
Well, no.
In respect to time, Judy, I think it would be appropriate for Cheryl to send a follow-up meeting or follow-up message to the CAC, and we can kind of
I
discuss
agree.
further offline. So
Let's do it. I think it took us all by surprise.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Sounds-
let's do that. Let's go ahead and have some mail back and forth a little bit on this, and then we can talk about this again, maybe bring it up in the next meeting.
that sounds great. Thanks, Judy. Thanks all for
You're
your
welcome.
input. All right.
Okay, and you've got the WTA thing, Malia.
Yeah, moving on to the next item. It was identified that CAC annual passes are not included on WTA's operation of the 80X. I deeply apologize. I don't really know how that has been missed, but I believe it was Valerie who encountered that problem. Unfortunately, because it's not when Skagit Transit is operating the service, all we can do is ask for a MOU for them to honor that pass. That MOU is up for renewal in September, and so I'm already working with them on those fair agreements of what they honor and what we honor for them. So I have added it to the list of asks, and I hope to give you an update in September on that, but I apologize for any inconvenience that causes. It will be, covered while riding on Skagit Transit, but not WTA at this time. I'll update you again in September or October.
Okay, thank you for that, Malia.
Dave
All right,
has
any
a
questions?
question. Dave has a question. Dave, you wanted to know how much it costs to ride the WTA ADX?
Dillingham bus.
So,
Not ours, but theirs, how much would it cost if they don't honor it?
so you're over 65, it's $1.
That works.
Hey, any other questions? All right. Okay, if there are no other questions, then Cheryl, it looks like it's going over to you.
Okay, so we were going to do a group ride on the 300 and be the guests at Job Corps. And if you've been following the news, there's a lot of transition at Job Corps right now. So Judy and I have been talking about maybe changing the destination. And Judy has some thoughts, and we're open to your thoughts as well. Judy, you want to talk?
Oh, sure. I'd be glad to. I was waiting for other people. Now, I had an idea, and we need to research to see where the closest bus stop is. It wouldn't take any time at all to do, except this was the last minute discussion Cheryl and I had. And since this is a Sedro-Woolley, since we want to ride the 300 because there have been some changes and so forth, I'm proposing, if you all are into it, that we pick a time where we could just take this 300 together and meet, say, for lunch at El Patron on 903 3rd Street. It's a great Mexican restaurant if y'all love Mexican food, and we could have lunch there. I would like to actually not have our meeting, and this is just me, and you all can chime in, but since it's a matter of public record now that our recordings are going up on YouTube and so forth. If we're going to have a regular meeting, we would need to do audio video. And I think if we're going to have an excursion to check out a bus run, let's not combine it with the meeting. Let's just have an excursion and have lunch and ride the bus and, make some comments and so forth on it. But that's my thought. We'll just need to see what the nearest stop is. And maybe some of you all already know that. I don't. I'd have to check, but that's one idea I had. And then Cheryl, you had another idea?
Yeah, another possibility is we could go to the senior center, and I know the stop is right at the senior center, so there wouldn't be any extensive walking involved when we got off at that stop. We could time it so that we were there for lunch. I do want to clarify that if we do something that has a lunch component, that you would be on your own for lunch But the senior center is
Yeah.
also open if people have special diets that they can bring their own lunch. And that's in Sedro-Woolley.
Yes.
Okay, so we could think about those two places. We're not on a schedule at this point. Or Cheryl, were you thinking of what months were you thinking?
Well, probably not in the winter.
No.
I think that maybe if we could do it, it sounds like Doris is here in August, either August or
September.
maybe September. Well, we might have our longer meeting in September, so we wouldn't want to have too many things on the same month.
Well, August was that for that too.
That's also the same thing. Or if we can make up our minds quickly, we could try to do it next month.
We could.
Dave has a question.
Yes, Dave.
If we go to the senior center and have lunch, do they need to know how many there is? Or how's that work? I know you buy it, but do you have to let them know or?
Yeah, I can let them know, and they are flexible. If we change last minute by 1 or 2, that's totally fine with them.
And I'm wondering if we could do it maybe if we were going to do it in July, do it, like the last part of July, like after the middle of July, so we have time to have a meeting and just nail everything down so we know when and where we're going and how. We could do it in email too, but just to have it, just to sort of nail it down in the meeting would be good. What do y'all think?
Is anyone gone in the end of July? Sounds like everybody's here end of July.
Okay. Okay, so what we can do, Cheryl, if you'll check with the senior center, and then if you want me to, I can check on that bus stop for El Patron and get back with you, Cheryl.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm around.
Does anybody else have any other suggestions besides those two?
Dave has another question.
On senior center, if you're going to talk to them, can you get a price for their what it costs for their meals?
It's $5
for any meal.
The meal they have. There's only one meal.
The senior meal is $5 at the senior center.
Okay.
All right.
Judy?
Minette, did you have a question? Yes.
Yes, I do. What is going on with Northern State? Because I haven't heard anything about it. For Job Corps.
Cheryl?
I haven't heard anything about it. What's going on?
So I'm very simplifying this. You should go to the newspaper, but the federal government is looking to defund Job Corps with a cease and desist on June 13th. But then there's been an injunction.
That's awful.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the information on that, Cheryl. And we're moving upward with a different venue. So if there aren't any more questions for Cheryl or on the excursion, let's move over to Malia and the staff report.
Thanks, Judy. Fixed route ridership for last month was 46,107, and paratransit ridership was 6,517. So it's great to see an increase in ridership. We're definitely seeing an increase on paratransit, which is wonderful. As I'm sure everyone has been made aware, due to just retention and having staff out for long-term leave, we have had struggles with some of our routes. Legally, we are required to ensure that our paratransit rides are fulfilled, and so that has led to some cancellation or suspension of fixed route operations. We as an agency identify that this is a very significant problem, and we're working to address it. So we just, continue to look for ways to hire operators and get folks trained up so that we can ensure there aren't any service disruptions as we deal with ongoing retention and absenteeism issues. My next item would be an update on the long-range transit plan. Public comment period closed last month, and so we've taken the last few weeks and we've combed through that feedback. We received over 74 responses with an addition of 78 responses specifically from Guemes. And so some really good feedback. We greatly appreciate everyone who took the time to give feedback. I know that that was a very hefty document. And so we have taken those considerations into our planning efforts. I am not in a position to share what those final changes are at this time. However, in next month's meeting, I will definitely be discussing. Oh, sorry, I had an issue with my microphone. The final changes moving forward. I will say though that you know, we received some really good feedback from Sedro-Woolley, and so most of the changes to the LRTP are specifically in the Sedro-Woolley area. And so I'm excited to share some final updates with you all next month. And then, like I said, that doesn't mean those are the permanent changes for our routes come January, but more of a overview of what we will be doing. And so I look forward to working with the CAC to kind of finalize some of those recommendations as we move forward. For the region, yeah.
May I
go
ask
ahead,
a
Judy.
question? I'm sorry, unless you'd rather have me wait.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. So I was wondering if you could address any changes that are that you're looking forward in the Anacortes area.
So specifically for Anacortes, we will be implementing a micro transit model. And when we look at our routes, and unfortunately, Anacortes, our routes are in Anacortes specifically are some of our most underperforming routes. And for the sake of being most responsible with resources, we believe the microtransit model will better serve that community. It will be a pilot, and so it will operate very similar, honestly, to how the Guemes service is operating, where it will be you call in, you schedule your ride. It won't require an hour in advance. It will be, you know, you can call in and our vehicles will come and pick you up door side and take you door side. It will use the same fare structure likely as our fixed route. So I can't tell you what we're doing officially because we're still in the final stages of that.
Okay.
But as proposed in the LRTP draft, it will be a microtransit model that's serving Anacortes.
It sounds like a taxi with buses.
Yeah, in a lot of ways it is. It will be very similar to paratransit, really, right? Where you're given a reminder of your ride. You operator, you know, shows up at your house, at you know, at a medical facility and takes you to where you need to go. We're still working out what that's going to look like for us, but I think it will serve a much larger population in Anacortes than we're currently serving with the fixed route. So we're really excited to see how that service works and consider other portions of Skagit County for the same type of service.
And thank you for taking that question. That I appreciate that. And this is for the benefit of our guest, Mike Mills, who is from the Anacortes area.
Wonderful. Yeah. Like I said, next month I'll be able to share a little bit more. So expect a better update from me next month.
Okay, thank you for letting me ask that, and go ahead.
Yeah, really quickly, I'll just jump to the regional transportation study. That was a study that was conducted in conjunction with the LRTP. We presented it to the NISTA group at last month's meeting. Really, that study just found that there's greater need for connection between our regional transit networks and to share, you know, multimodal transfer centers such as Skagit Station to facilitate transfers and connections between agencies. In the LRTP feedback, we received a lot of inquiries regarding connection to the light rail, connection to the airport, earlier service, increased frequency on commuter service. So these are all things that were identified in the regional transit study that we're actively working to address in response to the LRTP feedback. So once again, I should have more updates on that in the coming months, but that was really the intent and purpose, is to figure out some of the weak points between our region's transportation networks and facilitate any potential partnerships or connections to improve multimodal accessibility across our region.
Okay,
That's all for me,
thank you
Judy.
so much. Yes, yes, okay. Any questions quickly for Malia?
Well, this is Manette. May I ask one off the subject? You were going to send me a bus book. Has it not come out yet? Or because I never got it.
Yep. Monet, I apologize for the delay on that. We had some printer delays, unfortunately, but Rogelio did send one out in the mail to you last week, and so it should have arrived to you by now. I apologize that it hasn't.
I haven't gotten it.
Maybe they're with your minutes that are coming.
I don't know, but I did email her my correct address.
Yes, and that's the address that we sent it to. Rogelio sent it out last Wednesday.
Yeah, it's 1259 Arezzo Drive.
Yes, that's the address that he sent it to. My apologies. If you don't mind checking once more, if it's not there, I'd be happy to put another one in the mail to you tomorrow.
Okay. I'll look in the mailbox today, but it probably wasn't there yesterday.
Okay. All right. So then, Cheryl, you've got events here to talk to us about.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So one of the events that we did was the Children of the Valley. This is an organization that does after-school programs in the schools, and they had two events, actually. And we attended. So Rogelio was at one, I was at the other. The one I was at, there was about 50 young people that came by, learned about Youth Ride Free. His was kind of the same.
Okay.
And then we were at the North Star Connect Symposium, which was a pre-registration conference that was held at the Swinomish Lodge and Conference Center. And we had a table there. We interacted with the attendees that attended. Those were individuals who were stakeholders in government, education, healthcare, and housing primarily. So most everybody knew who we were, as you can imagine. But always good to connect. Then coming up is Berry Dairy Days, and that will be the 21st of June for the parade. The parade goes down Fairhaven Street, which is the main downtown street. We get in line at 9 a.m. and then we walk the parade. The parade route starts at 10. So
would you
it's
like
all
some
about
walkers to join us?
strawberries. All about strawberries for Berry Dairy Days. And I guess the strawberries are coming in now. And then we were at Blast from the Past, which was the festival in Sedro-Woolley, which was last weekend. The theme was 1975, so people were dressed like they were from 75. It was well attended. There was at least 2,000 people there. And we had we did it with the library. So we did story time about buses. So we had lots of young people talking to them about Youth Ride Free. And of course, the wheels on the bus go round and round. So we did that. So that's
Okay.
kind of a summary of some of the events.
Sounds good. Boy, that sounds good. And all right. So moving on these committee reports, do we have anybody who's ridden the connectors who have questions or anything's come up that Cheryl and Malia need to know about? Like riding the 90X or 80? We covered the 80X earlier.
Valerie's shaking her head that no, she
No.
doesn't have any ADX communications.
Going to report on the HB on the law now that is the ridership on PTBA boards. And what this is a permissive law. It's not mandatory, but it permits boards to allow 2 additional riders, and these would be community members. That's what I said. Community members, not riders necessarily, although we do want ridership for sure. But one of those members could be a rider and another member would be an agency, a member of an agency whose clientele take mass transit. And so this would be great if we can get this going. And I am working with Anna Zivars with Disability Rights of Washington to figure out how best to approach who we approach and how we do this. And I will be speaking with our great CEO who's wonderful about she's been wonderful about everything that we've been trying to do. So this kind of an alliance, this informal alliance with Disability Rights of Washington has been really good. So moving forward, we will figure out how to get this implemented. It's going to take some time and work and talking to board members and so on. And on this, they are recommending also, like the law recommends, that the 2 riders also get OPMA training, meaning like how you handle confidentiality, when you can speak, who you're representing and who you aren't representing when you talk about things. So regarding Skagit Transit. So this is all all of this should be coming up like, they're guessing like maybe in the fall and stuff. We'll be hearing more about this. The other thing really quick I will mention is the Week Without Driving. And that event is coming up last week of September. It's that September-October week, that kind of spans that week. And that's when that is going to be. And I just got some literature in the mail I was supposed to bring with me today, but I didn't. So I'll make sure that you get it. Cheryl, I'll make sure you get some. And they're going to be ordering more and sending me more. So we'll make sure that you guys get it. I will send out links again and emails on that again so that you guys get what we're doing with it. Okay. One of the things they're doing with Week Without Driving, I just went to the training they had, and they're not making it a challenge. It's been this challenge, that challenge. And it seems psychologically more appealing to say, this is a week without driving opportunity. Because, they're not wanting people to feel badly because they're drivers, and just give up your car keys for this week, or for a day this week, something like that. They don't want people to feel guilt tripped into not driving for a little bit. We're trying to present this as a very positive opportunity. So I really liked that takeaway for it. And again, it's just really briefly asking our elected officials to relinquish their car keys for a day, an afternoon, or whatever during that week, and get a ride somehow else. Whether you ride a horse, ride a bike, take a bus, have a friend drive you, have a kid, a daughter or son drive you, whatever you do, but do life without your car is what this is all about. So again, I'll be sending information out. All right. Now we're coming to roundtable. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring up during the roundtable?
I do. I do.
Okay, Dave?
That sign from last meeting, is there any news on that? Cheryl?
News on what?
The sign out there. Anything new on that?
Where he couldn't.
So
That you brought up last month?
it was the 205 and the 20. 204. And those schedules are one's above the other. So I did indicate to some of our staff that we'd like to try to change that up. So I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but I did send them some information.
Can you follow up with them, Cheryl, and then get back?
I sent them Dave's images, which were fantastic, and then explained what the issue was. I have not heard back from them yet, but it could be that they're doing it as part of a project. A lot of times they'll send someone to a particular location and they work on tightening a bench seat and changing a sign and do it as a group.
Maybe you could send out a tickler. You know, I always do that in my calendar, like maybe a week out or 5 days out or something. I put, if not heard, comma, then, you know, just check back and just see what they can tell you. Would that work?
Yeah, Judy, I think that would be great. We'll follow up and
just get those things in the calendar. The if not heards, if not heard backs. Otherwise, I know I would be forgetting a whole lot, but yeah, that would be good. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? All right. I don't hear any. Now, out of all the topics that we covered today, is there somebody that wanted to say something? Any of the committee members who have questions or who have comments that maybe we've glossed over?
Could I just ask, did we talk about the county fair?
In August?
Yeah.
Skagit Transit will be at the.
So do you need people at the county fair this year? I couldn't get on that as soon. I think I missed that part.
So it'll be on the next agenda.
Okay, cool.
Very good. All right. Wow, I can't believe it. It's like 5:27 and we don't have any other topics?
Well, I don't really have a topic, Judy, but
Manette, yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, Manette. But I would
You're
just like
fine.
to ask, you know, my husband and I went to Blast from the Past, but if she's going to be there in some capacity, let me know so we can stop by. Because we didn't see her.
So where were you there, Cheryl?
It was 3 days and we were there one of the 3 days. So we might not have been there on the same day.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that the bus was there, that the bus company was there.
So I have one question about Berry Dairy Days. So you're going to have a bus there, correct? And you're going to be walking in the parade, right?
We will have a van share, a ride share, and a coach in the parade.
Oh, okay. But you're not walking in the parade. You're just the vehicles are in the parade, right?
The vehicles will be in the parade and they will have, can I tell them? They'll have large strawberries as balloons with them.
That's great. That's really great. All right, because I was thinking, would you want people to join you in the buses or is it that kind of a venue?
If people want to come and walk beside the bus, they're welcome to do so.
Okay.
Again,
gotcha.
The lineup is at 9 a.m. and 10 o'clock is when the parade moves.
Great. All right. Thanks for that. Any further business before we adjourn? Okay. Anyone want to make a motion, bring a motion forward?
Okay, Judy, this is Manette. I motion that we close our meeting.
All right, any seconds? No seconds. People want to keep going on, huh?
Yeah, actually, BJ seconded.
Okay, thank you, BJ. All right. It's been moved by Manette and seconded by BJ that we adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned. We shall see you in July, second Tuesday in July.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you again, Mike,
And
for
you know
joining
what?
us.
This was much better quality. Thank you all.